Gary Vaynerchuk believes that you have to build up your company's culture, that you have to invest your trust in people, and that caring about and mentoring your employees is important. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you my take on Gary V's views on how to build a company culture and prioritize your people. All right, let's kick it off with rule number 1, build up your company's culture.
So Vayner went from 30 to 650 people in 4 years. And from 1 to 5 offices, including London. And the way I've kept culture is dictatorship. It's just the thing that I care about the most. And so, here's how you keep culture. When Kristen in the office is upset about something and I'm on my way from Connecticut into New York to do a new business pitch, potentially worth $5 million, and I detour and skip that pitch to go and talk out with her that issue, that's how you maintain culture. Guys, life's very simple. There's the things you wish you were doing, there's the things you're saying that you're doing, and then there's the things that you actually do. The way you maintain culture is the same answer as the question prior to this. You do it in your actions. I don't meet with every single employee that works for me for 10 minutes, 3 months in, to check the box and seem like a personal CEO. I do it because in those 10 minutes, I want to create some sort of connection that makes them feel comfortable to say hi to me in the elevator or to come with a problem to me. I do it because I ask them where their hometown is so I can make a joke about the Cleveland Indians in the elevator to show them that I was paying attention. I do it because I want to know if they have siblings, how they roll, what interest are they in, because if I want to surprise and delight them because they're crushing it, that I can get them Coachella tickets, right? I do it because it has purpose. And so I maintain culture very simply. Dictatorship, my actions, and the number 1 and 2 other options are meritocracy, letting talent speak for itself, and then finally firing the most talented people if they're not willing to care about their teammates more than them thinking they're fancy. And my ego is so big that I don't think I need anybody that works for my company. And so thus they're all expendable if they're not willing to treat each other with respect and love.
Rule number 2, invest trust in people.
My big thing is that I genuinely don't think most things matter. And so I'm very big on lack of ego is why I'm good at delegating. I actually think way too many people suck at delegating because they're egotistical and they don't deploy enough humility and they actually are micromanaging out of their own insecurities. And so it's very easy for me to delegate because I trust people and I trust them up front. My dad always says, you've got to earn my trust. And I always say, I'm giving you trust and you've got to lose it. And actually it's kind of hard to lose. I think that's allowed me to go fast. It's allowed me to scale. I think it's a differentiator. And I don't think anything can really cripple me. And so I give them the room. I think delegation has a lot to do with ego and insecurities. And I watch and I'm able to do a lot of things by giving people room. And to me, if I'm doing 97 things and 97 people are helping me, and they're all ranging from, if a 10 was perfect execution, from a 4.2 to a 9.7, doing 97 things from a 4.2 to a 9.7 is a hell of a lot better than doing 1 or 2 things at a 10.0. It's a net score game, and that's how I'm wired, and that's how I strategize. And then as people prove that they can do 9.2, 8.7 work, I move them up, and if they prove they can do 11.0 work, I remind them that they maybe should be doing something up for themselves. And so that's the bottom line.
You said, I trust you blindly, Phil, right? And I've been noticing that's like a theme that you give trust maybe easier than some CEOs would.
I do.
Why is that? What's the methodology behind that?
It's offense. I think people say no too often because they fear ramifications. I don't think micro losses are scary, and empowering people to make decisions is how you scale. And to me, I've always thought that somebody doing an 86 instead of my 100 is better than not doing it at all. Plus, how am I ever gonna learn if somebody is capable without giving them a chance? Like eventually you have to let your kid swim. Eventually you have to let them swing the bat. And so yeah, I'm completely not driven by fear. And people are, and the reason people don't let people do things is they fear it, or they have, it's ego. A lot of people don't want their understudies or their direct reports or the people they manage to be better at something than them. It's just insecurity. I'm massively secure in myself, and that's exactly right, Kibble. It's a good insight, and you're doing a good job with this and asking me these questions. Like, I say yes, I give trust at first. You can lose it. People are like, trust is earned. I'm like, cool, that seems slow and egotistical. Like, who the f am I to have it earned? Like, great, like that. To me, trust is given, and then you lose it if you're a dick face, incapable, and have proven that you're not worthy of the challenge or the role. I think one thing I've noticed, though, that is a counteract to my move is that a lot of times when you accelerate that too soon, people become entitled. They in the micro get a little bit of high on their supply, and they think they're big, and they start having egos underneath you. When you were like watching my people that I empower with, like, I trust you blindly, then not trust people blindly underneath them is heartbreaking, happens often, and is something I'm thinking a lot about.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. It's free. The link to join is in the description below.
In a success world, please understand that success is happiness, not net dollars in. The reason people aren't patient is they value other people's opinions too much. My ability to only be comfortable in massive chaos has been my biggest asset as an entrepreneur. Like, I would never take a note. Like, that scares the out of me what these three people are doing right now.
Rule number 3, care about your employees.
What's a bigger business, Wine Library or VaynerMedia?
VaynerMedia.
And so I watched you grow that from 12 people.
Yep.
That was the first time we kind of worked together.
That's right.
People. And I've kind of understood some of the pain that you've gone through, but what's been the hardest thing about that? What I really want to say is, you've operated smaller businesses. What's it like to actually run? When you walk into the new space, you're blown away. What is it like to operate?
So far, so good. The hardest part and what it feels like is the same answer, which is, how do you get buy-in at scale? It's a lot easier to get 30 people to buy into you and your vision than it is 500 and 700. And it's fun for me to see 4 or 5 of them in here, and they're all in different parts of their career at Vayner right now, and different challenges or opportunities.
Did you ever have to think about mapping people's careers before?
I've always thought about that. I literally reverse engineer every single person. I have context of how they came from, the conversations we've had, who their mentors were before, what they thought. Emily's mom thought that we were some mafioso thing. I know who Sam's mentor was. I understand where Lisa worked in a traditional agency for 14 years. I know that Garrett went to the same school as my children. I know, I am the head of HR, CEO. And so always, Wine Library, VaynerMedia, and everything I do forever, it's only a people game. Everything else continues to get commoditized by technology. This is a human thing. We are humans. We are the ultimate species. We've won. It's us. And we are the game. And so yes, I have thought about that. I think the reason we built one of the fastest growing agencies ever is because of that part of it. The biggest challenge was getting buy-in, knowing that at 200 people, there were so many people that didn't believe me, that thought, oh, tomorrow I'm gonna do something bad, or I'm doing this because I wanna buy the Jets and I don't care about them, or whatever it may be. And it's been a lot of fun for me because now we're a little further along, and everybody who's been waiting every day that it doesn't switch, it doesn't turn, it doesn't become about the money, they aren't forced to do things, we keep listening, it's like gaining trust, right? And so now we are much tighter and stronger at 700 than we were at 250, which is usually the other way, but that's what happens when you actually double down on it and when the stories translate. And it's not always perfect. Even the people in this room, it's not clicking perfectly right this second, but you put in the effort. And you play a forever game. You treat them just as well on the way out, and forever, and help, and it's a people game. Yeah, I've always thought that. It's really the only move I've got.
I can attest to that.
Rule number 4, mentor your team.
For me, the mentoring of Tyler is super important. He's my assistant, my lead assistant. We have 2 now with Z. You've seen her running around.
Happy Friday, everyone.
And I think a lot of you who are running businesses don't realize that the conversations and the mentorship on a day-to-day basis, teaching them the long game, the short game, what your wants and needs are, what you see in them, how they can be better, is a huge vulnerability. You guys just want everybody to click right into your expectations without you putting in the work. A lot of you have bad puppies and dogs because you didn't spend the time up front to put them in the right position. A lot of you have kids that aren't reaching their expectations of you because you took for granted those early 5 or 6 years. I mean, if you want somebody to be successful in the long term, you have to disproportionately put up work in the front to make them successful, and that's what I'm doing with Tyler, and ironically, that's what I was teaching him to do when somebody new joins the team, and that's something I've taught you, D-Rock. That's something that you've struggled with. We all struggle with that. Like, when you add somebody new, your thought is, this is gonna be easier now, I can do more, I can do better, I can do faster. The problem is, for the first 60, 90, 100 days, you get slower because you have to put it all into them. You have to answer all those questions. You have to fix all their misses, and so, and then what if they don't even work out? What if after 120 days, it's not the right person? You oftentimes don't make the move that you have to and bring in somebody new, and then you have a year of them, 2 or 3 years, or some of you are sitting on 4 and 5 and 6 years of somebody who's not good enough to do the thing you want. These are very difficult tasks of a CEO. You see me in Gary, what do you do? Meetings and travel around. I CEO.
And rule number 5, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is prioritize skills over talent.
We just hired our first chief creative officer. I spent 6 months trying to find the person that, and this was the order of what mattered to me. First, emotional intelligence. When I tell you that I don't respect talent, it would upset you. It's stunning when I run my business how secondary pure talent is to people skills. This notion that some creative is so special that they can be a in the entire place is the I've ever heard in my life. And I'm very unpopular in tech land. I did it again at South by where I was like, Steve Jobs, I don't want to run a business where being mean brings the best out of, I don't give a if you're a creative genius, act like a normal person. I believe continuity trumps everything. Continuity, it's just like sports. A team that stays together usually beats a team with superstars that were put together for 1 season. And I believe that. And I love continuity at Vayner. We have enormous continuity already for a young company, and I want to keep it forever because I give a shit. Rice is now living in London, like she's gonna be part of the London team because 4 years ago when she started working for me, I'm like, what do you want? She's like, I want to be in London one day. I'm like, cool, if we ever go there, you'll go there, and then I did it. And by the way, I don't care if you're driven by money or by work-life balance or by creative output. I individually at 650 care about what you care about, and I also know when you get married, you're gonna care about different shit. So we are an HR-driven organization. I needed to find a CCO that understood that, so that was a challenge. When, especially when you're looking from, and I was looking for somebody from a world like this, because I wanted to taste what a seasoned veteran from a Wyden, from a Crispin, looked like. What did that feel like internally?
Now I have a special bonus clip from Gary on how to be a good listener that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. What is the culture you want to be known for at your company? Number 2, how can you be a better mentor for your team? And number 3, where do you just need to trust your people more? And if you like this video and you're gonna take some action after watching it, give me a #believe down in the comments as well.
I am transitioning to a new project management role in the company.
Okay.
How do you maintain having high standards with your team, making sure things get done, but still keeping the project on time and on budget?
I think it takes humanity. I think the answer is humanity. I actually think the best way to be a great project manager or get things done is to be a great listener instead of talker, right? You go into this new role, I see with a lot of my project management people, they're organized, they're good, but they want to talk it to success. I actually think it's the drop down, flip it, and reverse it. I think it's a Missy Elliott structure. I think the way you win is by listening to the people to why they're not doing well, why are they 2 weeks behind. If you haven't actually apply empathy and understand what's going on there, you become known to everybody as the project manager that gets it. And so I say you walk in with not your architecture and organization and like, I'm gonna guide this. You're gonna guide it with your ears more than your mouth. And that is something most project management oriented people only learn later in life and realize is the key factor. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want to know Gary Vee's top 5 secrets for success, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.